This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and get the latest from Alpena Community College with Dr. Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first guest today is Katie Wolf from Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. Hi, Katie.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. As summer's winding down, you know, things are still staying very, very busy at Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. So give me an idea of some of the wonderful things that are coming up.
I'm in denial that summer winding down.
Yes, I know. You live on the lake, so I understand.
But with the kids going back to school, you know that fall isn't too far away. But we're still having our cinema and lecture series, and that is going strong. We had a full house last week with all kinds of researchers and divers, and so we're looking forward to now. We have the next lecture is September 19th.
Okay.
And it's about Lake Nation, the fate of the Great Lakes.
Okay.
And it's Dave Dempsey is an author. He's published 12 books.
Okay.
This is one of his latest, and he's worked his whole career on protecting the Great Lakes and Great Lakes policy. Everything from working with the International Joint Commission between the U.S. and Canada to having worked as the Great Lakes public policy person for a former governor. So he has a lot of experience. But this book is particularly interesting because, you know, he's explored how people love and talk about how much they love the Great Lakes and, you know, buy logo, you know, Great Lakes logo wear, but the actual state of the Great Lakes are not reflective of that. And so, you know, what is it that people talk about the Great Lakes and how much they love it, but aren't willing to kind of step up and do the things that need to be done to protect them? So that's the, you know, the framework for his research.
That'll be interesting. Yeah. So he's going to give ideas and suggestions. Tell us what we can do to save our beautiful lakes.
Well, I think particularly look at, you know, what's keeping us from doing what needs to be done. I mean, you know, what are the thoughts in people's heads? What are those anecdotes and stories that, and you know, we find it all the time. You go to the Great Lakes and half the time you're looking for a plastic bag to pick up litter and things like that. So what is that disconnect of loving the lakes but not doing what you need to do to take care of them?
And I know we take them so for granted, so that's probably part of it.
Yeah, it is. Well, they're big, so you think they're, you know.
Yeah, nothing can ever happen.
Right.
So what's next?
So the next thing is on September 26th, and this is really fun. We have Zach Irving, who is a local filmmaker. He did a series of like short films about adventures in northern Michigan.
Yes.
And it was so popular that kind of by popular demand, he's done another series.
Ooh.
So they follow his dad and his brother, and they go to places that you may not think to explore, but are really special places in northern Michigan. He's got 4 short films, and that's going to be on September 26th. And that one you will definitely want to get there early. All of these events take place at the Great Lakes Maritime Heritage Center. We open the doors at 6:30 to the theater, and the program begins at 7. But whenever we have a local filmmaker about, you know, places in northern Michigan, people really pack in.
And I saw his last one, and actually he was on the show. He does a phenomenal job.
He really does.
They're so beautiful, the natural scenery, breathtaking. Well, I'll be anxious to see this one.
Yeah, so that'll be fun.
Okay, then after that?
Well, I think, you know, if I could talk for a minute about, this is the time of year we're really encouraging teachers to plan field trips.
Okay.
And so we've got lots for them to do. You know, you can plan, if you're in the outlying areas, you can plan a fun full day at the sanctuary. You can partner with a trip to the Besser Museum, or you can come to the sanctuary and do half a day with a cruise with the Lady Michigan, and then the other part of the school day you could spend in the museum.
Yes.
You can explore the different exhibits, but we also have Science on the Sphere, which is a really, you know, you can select, teachers can go online and select the different programs that they're interested in that, you know, match the curriculum that they're teaching for the year.
Okay.
So we can custom make a day for their trip there. There's also the opportunity to work in the maker space for the students to learn how to make the underwater robots and test those. So there's lots for school kids to do at the sanctuary.
So what's the best way for a teacher to contact you to set up some tours?
Well, if they go to thunderbayfriends.org and go under education, they can look at all the options there, and they can plan their day. They can also do that at the thunderbaynoaa.gov website.
Okay.
So there's, either way, that's a good place to start. And if they have questions, they can just call us at 989-884-6200.
And you mentioned the Friends. The Friends is a wonderful group that helps support the sanctuary, because obviously you couldn't hire staff for everything that has to be done there. So they're the behind-the-scenes group that's out doing all kinds of wonderful things to help Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary.
We really do have, the Friends group is really special, and I think sometimes people think that we get this big check from Washington, D.C., but that's not the case. The things that the Friends help support are education programs, the things we just talked about in our community outreach, the whole lecture and cinema series, all the special events that we do. They help support exhibits in the museum and the staff that work there. So it's really important. We would really like to grow the Friends group, and I guess as a, call out to our community, if you enjoy the sanctuary and the programs that they offer, then we really hope that you'll consider becoming a friend. It's easy. You can just go online and make a donation there. You can come into the building, or if you're at any of our programs, we have brochures there where you can become a friend very easily. And then you get advance notice. We send out notices about our upcoming programs and things like that. Sometimes we have special events that are just for friends, but most importantly, you're really helping protect our Great Lakes and helping future generations learn how to be good stewards, because all the work that we do with the school kids, we have over 6,000 kids that we work with annually. So it's an important program.
Okay, so I hope people that are listening and watching will say, hey, I want to be a Friends member. And I always want to encourage people to come to the Sanctuary store.
Yes, yeah. And we right now the store kind of goes in fits and bits, and that we'll get a lot of inventory in and it sells out real quickly. And so we're getting our fall inventory lined up now. And we have a great selection of very affordable jackets. It's a great place for parents to go who are looking for a warm but affordable coat for their kids for the winter.
I wore mine out of town probably earlier this summer, and somebody said, hey, I've been there. I've been to Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary. I said, you have? I said, I lived there. And they said how cool it was on the ship inside. And, they went on the Lady Michigan and went up on the roof, and everything that they got to do, they were telling me all about it. They loved it.
We need to do one of those contests where people send photos of people that they see with logo wear, because we get stories from all around the world where, they're on a plane or they're, taking a tour someplace and they have their Thunder Bay logo wear on. So it makes us feel good, because we know that people are proud to be a part of it.
Thank you so much for being here, and I hope those series are all packed full and you have to have people sitting out in the hallway in chairs.
Well, we do have an overflow room, so.
Okay, good. All right.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Nancy.
Katie. I'll be right back with BJ Sander. We're going to talk about Alpena Area Senior Citizen Center following these messages. Hi, I'm back with BJ Sander from Alpena Area Senior Citizen Center. Hi, BJ.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I love your new shirt that says Empowered Movement, and that's what we want to talk about today.
Absolutely. Actually, it says Empowered Movement #2. This is our second year for Empowered Movement. It's an amazing progression that we made, considering that this program was developed just because we wanted to do something on falls, and it developed into our second year, and it's just been awesome.
So tell me about Empowered Movement.
Empowered Movement was started off because a couple of years ago we were hearing about the number of falls that were going to the hospitals, and of course most of them were seniors. So we started thinking about what can we do to help that. So we developed a program, and it's based on endurance, improving your endurance, your mobility, your strength, and of course that ends up helping your balance issues. So we started that program. We partnered with Thunder Bay Therapy at that time, and we did quarterly assessments, and the only commitment that people really had to make was to exercise. So during those quarterly assessments, that told the people whether or not what they were doing was sufficient to improve their strength, or did they need to add something else onto it. So that was the really good part about it. So people that were coming to our exercise class that we have at the Senior Center 3 days a week showed amazing improvements. So that was all good stuff.
Oh, yes.
This year we've chosen to add some extra pieces onto it. We are adding nutrition.
Okay.
Which is extremely important, looking at the chronic diseases that we as seniors are facing, and looking at what nutrition can do to help with those diseases. So we're adding that piece onto that this year.
Wow, and I happen to have walked in there before when you're doing your exercise program. I can't believe how many people attend.
You know, when I started this program, we had probably maybe between 15 and 20 people that would come to exercise class. Now it's not unusual to have about 80.
And you know, what I see is no matter what your strength is, what your age is, what your abilities are, there's still something that you can do to get movement.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the really cool thing about it, and I wish that everybody could experience it the way I do during class, is to watch how proud the seniors are of developing the muscles that they're developing. And they don't hesitate to just show those muscles off, and that's awesome. Yeah.
And you know, you started talking about nutrition, and I know that the meals that you serve, the congregate meals and the Meals on Wheels, are, you know, balanced, nutritious foods. And I know how proud you are about your garden, so I'm going to give you a chance to tell me about those gardens.
So we are growing gardens at the Senior Center. At the back of the center, we have the bulk produce, such as the tomatoes, the potatoes, the onions, the squash, carrots. We have lots of carrots growing right now. We've got some dill back there. And I believe, I'm trying to figure out what they are, but I believe they're cantaloupe. Someone forgot to label them, but I think we actually have some cantaloupes growing.
Perfect.
And the other area of our center, we have 28 raised garden beds where we're growing multiple lettuce, varieties of lettuce. So we're supplying the Senior Center. We have a beautiful salad bar, so we're supplying the Senior Center with the vegetables, and we're also selling lettuce and tomatoes. I run out of lettuce every week. Everybody's just really buying it, enjoying it.
And I saw in your newsletter some names of lettuce that I hadn't even heard of before that you're growing.
We have a Salanova mix that we're having great luck with, and that's basically what we're selling right now is the Salanova mix. We're also working on some microgreens in our greenhouse that's been a tremendous help, that's been really helpful with our gardens. Being able to grow the seedlings in the greenhouse.
Wow.
So we're experimenting with microgreens. We have a delicious arugula. It's called wasabi arugula.
Okay.
And it's actually got that wasabi taste to
Wow.
it. It's wonderful. So we're looking at doing some experiments with some different lettuce mixes. So we're looking at sprouts and shoots and the microgreens. Microgreens, if you know anything about those, they're packed full of nutrients. So
I love to go to the Ann Arbor Farmers Market because they have so many sprouts, and I love sunflower sprouts and pea sprouts. I love all those to put them in a
the
salad.
varieties of them
they're
and the
so
different
good.
flavors that just
Crunchy,
pop in your
yes.
mouth. Absolutely.
So good.
Yeah, yeah, and we've also got, and I'm loving trying all of these different things. I've actually, we've got some nasturtiums growing.
Okay.
I've discovered, learning that you can eat the leaves, and the
Yes.
leaves have a wonderful taste. They're actually starting to flower now. I haven't convinced myself to take one of the flowers only because they're so pretty
Yes.
to eat, but I understand they're delicious also.
I've had nasturtium tea before, and last week somebody made me eat a nasturtium leaf, and it was interesting. It was good, and you know, will I eat them every day? No, but I know people who do.
Right.
They love them.
To me, they have almost like a radishy taste to them. But
yes, exactly.
very
Peppery, sort of. Yes. So what about volunteers? Do you have a lot of volunteers helping you in those gardens?
We do have volunteers. Some of the people that I went to Master Gardening class with are doing a tremendous amount of work for me in the gardens. I don't know actually what I would do without them. I've actually nicknamed all of them the Garden Angels. Because again, I don't know what I would do without the help that they're providing. We actually have a senior volunteer from the center that's out there just as much as the master gardeners are, and the really cool thing about that is they love what they're doing, and it shows in everything that they're doing out there.
And you also have fresh baked bread for sale at the center.
We do. They were baking bread. Actually, they were done baking when I left to come here, and they were actually putting it out on the shelves. We bake a white, a wheat, and a French bread. They're only $4 a loaf, and
amazing.
Again, we run out of those by the end of the day also.
Okay. And my last question for you, because we're almost out of time, is how do people get in touch with you to learn more about Empowered Movement too?
Empowered Movement, please call me at 989-356-3585. We will be taking sign-ups probably through the month of September, which is National Senior Center Month.
Okay.
A big month. We've got lots and lots of fun things planned at the center. So contact me. I will talk to you, give you all the information about it, and we'll get you signed up.
Yeah, and if
Only
you're-
commitment you have to make is to exercise.
Right, and if somebody's a little nervous about coming the first time, somebody will meet them at the door and sit next to them and make sure that they feel comfortable and at home.
And that would be me. And I teach the class 2 days a week. Cindy Josie teaches on Wednesday, and one of us will be more than happy to do that with whoever wants to sign up.
And for first-time people, it's such a warm and friendly place.
It absolutely is.
And what time are congregate meals?
Lunch is from 11:30 to 12:30. Dinner right now is from 4:30 to, no, 5 to 6, I'm sorry. Daylight savings time will change and start at 4:30
Okay.
to 5:30.
Okay.
So 5 to 6.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here, and tell everyone that all of us here at WBKB TV appreciate all that you do for the seniors in our community.
Thank you so much, Nancy.
Thank you. Please stay tuned for Dr. Don McMaster following these messages.
Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster, president of Alpena Community College. Pleased to have as our guest this morning Cindy DeRocher, Director of Student Life and Campus Housing and Athletic Director. Welcome, Cindy.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, and we're happy to have you here. So, fall sports are coming up. We have at ACC volleyball and men's cross country. How are things looking?
Well, they started practice this week, so you know, a nice thing, both rosters are completely full. Volleyball has 12 ladies out there, and cross country, they went off to camp to practice some running, and they took eight gentlemen with them. So they're doing their team bonding, and a lot of returners on the cross country team, so we're pretty excited about that. And volleyball has 3 returners and so 9 freshmen.
Very cool. Well, we've seen a lot of really fine local athletes, you know, come to ACC and partake in those, especially volleyball and softball. I think that's good news. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, you know, when you look at our sports this year, first I'm thankful that all our coaches are returning, you know,
Yes.
taking over as a new athletic director. That makes life a little bit simpler. And our rosters are full. Basketballs each have 13, softball has over 20. They're all ready to get going, and a lot of great athletes, a lot of key players from the area. So we're pretty excited.
Yeah, I'm excited about that too. I think that's a really good thing when local folks, standout athletes, come to ACC. They see that they can obtain their goals, and I think, you know, local folks like watching them.
Yep.
You know, so it's good for the community. It's good for the students.
Yep. I think I always don't like to single out a couple players, but we have 2 returners on our fall sports. Tyler Ross, and who's a dual sport athlete, plays cross country and basketball.
Fair review.
Yep. And Taylor Livingston, who last year played both volleyball and basketball. And both, you know, the conference academic all conference comes out in the summer, and both of those students made academic all conference playing 2 sports. And
Wow.
I'm really proud of them for doing that, and I'm happy to have them back on our teams as leaders.
Absolutely. Taylor's from Elkona.
Yes.
A standout down there, and was outstanding on the basketball court for us last year, and volleyball.
Yes.
Well, you're right. Those are those are the attributes that I really, and I think our coaches champion and support, and it's such an important thing. You know, to my knowledge, we've never had anyone go through ACC athletics and become a pro.
You're absolutely right.
And most community colleges don't. So I think what we're trying to do is champion, you know, structure and success and academic success and life skills. That's what sports is about at our level. Tell me a little bit about athletic director.
Well, I definitely have dove in, and you know, last year got some experience. You know, one of our biggest challenges right now is our national office. They're going paperless. So how we used to do everything is now been rolled out July 1st to totally change the system. And it didn't go so well for them. So we're half doing things the old way and working through a lot of bugs in the new system. So Kelly, our new athletic administrator, who does a lot of that, is having some challenges of you know, a lot of communication. So But you know, with that, we're trying to go a little bit more paperless too, and get our students some fillable forms, because they do have to fill out a lot of paperwork to participate in the sport. So, but once it's all up and running, it'll make life a lot simpler. So.
People may not know, and it's the athletic director's job to manage the multitude of compliance and data and information that is required to make sure the program is within compliance of the rules.
Exactly, and you know, we don't want to make mistakes in that area, and so yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes that happens to, you know, make sure everybody meets eligibility rules and stays eligible, and you know, make sure the students understand, don't drop a class without telling us, and so all that comes into play.
So what are your dreams for the job? What like near term and long term, what would you like to see happen?
Well, you know, I think it's fun to have a lot of excitement in the sports. You know, students, athletes, you know, like to perform better, I think, when there's people out there cheering. I think we put out an excellent athletic competition product, and if you watch our games at all levels, at all of them, they're very competitive, and so I hope we can do a little bit more in promotions, and you know, fill our gym when we have a home game. We hope to broadcast via our Wi-Fi stream. Even some of our away games this year. So we do have some students in a couple of our sports that are from far away. One from all the way across down under from Australia. So his parents were kind of excited to hear that they may be able to watch him play. So so you know, get the word out there, get people to come out and watch us, and you know, I think just bring that whole level of excitement. We want to do some things with alumni. We probably haven't recognized our alumni as well as we should, and a few other things in the marketing efforts. So a full agenda.
Yes, it is a full agenda, and I think you're spot on all those things. The alumni piece in particular, I think there are many, well, you're an alumni.
Right.
And a person that participated in athletics at ACC and has had a very successful life. I think there are many others out there that have regard and affection, and you know, we would do well to reach out to them and give them an opportunity to reconnect with the college and with athletics at the college.
Exactly.
So Cindy, thank you very much for what you do, and really looking forward to a year of athletics. Thank you folks for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your host, Nancy Smitham and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.